Hey you guys, it's me, Maddie Makes, here with another video for you today. Today I want to show you how to use the gradient feature in Canva. And to do that, we're going to create another wedding invitation. So here we are in Canva. And as I always tell folks, if you're new to my channel, Canva does have an awesome free version. Um, and then they have a more awesome pro version. But just saying, I used the free version for a very long time before I upgraded to the pro version, just letting you know that, it's a very powerful tool and they give you a lot for free. You do not have to purchase the um, pro version and you get to create some awesome things. So with that said, let's jump in and check out that gradient the gradient element, and let's create our design. I'm going to do a custom size. I already have it in here. It's 5 by 7, right? And then we're going to create a new design. And this is where we land. I've already done my part to upload the photos because I don't want to take up too much of your time doing all that stuff. This is the photo that I have. I'm going to right click on it and then I'm going to set the image as a background. All right. If you look here though, this is supposed to be a wedding invitation. It's a lot going on in the background that I'm not interested in. And so I'm going to click on here and we're going to edit this photo. We're going to add some filters. Just so you know, the filters are free. All right. The filters are are part of the free version as well. I'm going to click see all. You can have natural, you can have warm, you can have cool, you can have vivid. There are all kinds of things you can go through here to look at. I already know that I want a mono color and I'm going to click on this little arrow here to get to the one that I want, and that's going to be film. All right. And that's kind of how I want this. This makes me think of more of a wedding invitation. Okay, now what we have to do is we're going to work on that gradient stuff that I was talking to you about. And for that, you would need to type on um, fade to transparent gradient. That's what the words you would use, fade to transparent gradient. All right. And I'm going to use this one here. You get a bunch of images. The one I know that I want to use is here, right? And if you notice, it's dark on one side and it fades to gradient to the other side, right? Okay. I also know that I want to have, for now, we're going to turn this around and like that. And we're going to move this to the bottom. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. I don't know how big your box needs to be okay, it depends on your picture. How I try to decide where I wanted my box to be in this picture is kind of like, where do I want my words to stop? So before I get into this, let me show you the problem that I was running into. So when I go over here to text and I add a heading and I'm on this picture here, I just found the text to be a little bit dark, right? So I just type their little name. Forgive my typos because that part doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to show you something. So it just wasn't popping enough to me because the background, there was just too much going on. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is smooth out the background so that we can better see the words, right? Because this is a darker photo. Okay. All right. So with that said, then I'm going to erase this because that's not, I just needed to show you that. Of course, it won't let me. There we go. This is how this gradient feature is going to help us. Okay. So we go back onto here and we're going to move this back up. So I don't, I think I want the gradient to start like around her shoulder area. So that's how I'm measuring. All right. I don't want it way up here because it'll be in her mouth. I want it to be like shoulder level for her, not for him, but for her. Okay. And so I'm going to start at the top of her shoulder is where I'm going to start. And then I'm going to expand this as much as I can. Okay. Hitting the corners. Okay. Maybe a little, you know what? I like it at 2.7, 0.2.7. I'm good with that. All right. Now what you do is you duplicate that and you're going to move it over here. You can already start seeing that it's dulling some of these colors out, right? Now, I forgot to tell you, we don't want purple, do we? So we have to change the color. It's purple and white. You keep the white, you get rid of the purple. You go over here and you look for photo colors. And this one is the one that makes the most sense to me, right? So I'm going to make those both that color. So you see how it starts muting, kind of muting that area. And that's what I'm going for because I want to be able to make the letters look smooth when I enter the letters on here, okay? And then you right click and you just keep duplicating and you keep stacking them on top of each other. Canva will tell you, like if you look real close here, it's telling me that I'm right on top of the other one, okay? Because it shows me the purple lines that align me. And I duplicate again, and there I go. And I just keep doing that until I achieve the effect that I want. That's up to you how muted you want it to be, right? So we just keep duplicating. I don't know how many times I'm going to do it. And there we go. I think that was about, for me, that may have been about, um, I don't know, 8 times. Oh, well, the total of 8, so maybe 4 times, okay? I also think it's a little dark down here. So what I can do is duplicate one more time, and instead, I bring this down a little bit, this one down, and it kinda lightens it up down here too. See what I'm saying, you guys? That's what I'm talking about, right? And then I go over here, I duplicate again, and I'm gonna bring it down right about here. If you see my purple lines, it's telling me I'm lined up with the other one. That's what I want to be. Okay. And then I click off. Okay. And so now we have this little muted effect going on. All right. There we go. All right. Perfect. Perfect, y'all. Now this is important so you don't have it moving all around. So now I go up here and I highlight it all. And it's see all these boxes? I got lots of boxes. I want those to group because otherwise it's going to be problems when I'm putting text boxes on here. When I group it, it turns into one happy family. See, now I have one box instead of like a ton of other boxes. And now I click off. So far, so good. Now you're going to see how amazing the text is going to look on here when I do this part. All right. So let's get the rest done. We're going to go add a heading and then we're going to add their names. I made them up, y'all. These are the people in the last video. And I'm putting them all in caps, okay? And, oops, my T is not a cap. There we go. I already have my caps on. What did I just do? Okay, let me try again. Space. Oops, I'm having problems, y'all. Okay, there we go. I don't want this to be in that font. I need a more wedding looking font, all right? And it's also a little bit too big, so we're gonna make it smaller. I did 20. Go back and highlight it, and we're gonna change the font. I like this here, Amaranth, and there we go. And now we'll just move this down here. So see how you can see it so much better, you guys? That's what I'm going for. I want you to be able to see those letters a little bit better, okay? And then after we do that, we're going to go duplicate this and pull it down, and then we're going to type on that as well. And we're going to move this up a little bit, and we're going to center it. You know that it's centered because you can see the vertical purple line, okay? All right, and now we're going to add another heading, and we're going to type in lowercase their wedding. And then I don't want that font either, and it's too big. So we're going to reduce that font to about 28. And we're going to, which change this font to feeling passionate. Isn't that appropriate for a wedding? Feeling passionate. Yes. And there we have that. Okay. And now we want to put the date. So we'll go back up here and duplicate. Right click and duplicate. Bring it down, and we're going to put in here the wedding date. I made this up, right? Am I wise? Oh, I turned off my caps lock. What am I thinking? Let me just fix this real quick. It looks kind of crazy. I don't want my at to be all caps though. I want this to be lower caps, lowercase letters. And I want my PM to be upper cap or uppercase. Okay, so now we have our date. We're going to click back on and move it up just a little bit. There we go. And then we need to duplicate it again. And we need to put, what do I want my date to be? Okay, this is too big. The date doesn't need to be that big. So I am going to change it to 15. That's just me. Do it how you want to do it. Make it visually appealing to you. This is just visually appealing to me. Duplicate, and then I'm going to put in the location. No, this is made up. There is no Kalahari in Illinois that I know of. There is a Kalahari. It's just not in Illinois. It's random. It's for you guys today. Okay, and then we have our location, and then we need to put reception to follow. And this could be whatever you wanted it to be. If you actually wanted to put the address on here, you could just do that. You don't have to put the reception to follow. I'm just making this stuff up. And I'm going to add, I'm just going to duplicate this, bring it down, and I'm going to type reception to follow, which is too big. I'm just saying. That's not the highlight of the invitation per se. The wedding is. So we'll just change this font to 10, and then we'll even move it down a little bit and put it right there. Okay. So this is how to use the gradient feature to make a photo, um, maybe like a photo wedding invitation. Okay. That's how it works. What I will say to you is that, and I like to tell folks, is that invitations cost a lot of money. And the sad part is when your wedding is done, the guests don't keep your wedding invitation, but you may have spent $300 on them. This is a great DIY. Canva is great for doing DIY stuff. So you could easily create your own invitation. You could do a couple of things. You could take it and take it um, to the to the a place where it can be printed, or you can print it yourself at home. They have paper or cardstock and things at Hobby Lobby. They also have blank wedding invitations at Walmart. I've seen them there. So this you could do all. You could order it right here probably from Canva, because they do have, they'll do. You can definitely order stationery supplies through them. But the point is, I hope that it saves you some money. You don't always have to go spend. If I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't have spent so much money on all that wedding stuff. I would have put that money in the bank. So this is a good way. It's just the invitation. It's not the rest of your life. It's just, and it can be a DIY tool. Um, just a few things. Canva does save this for you if they're not being glitchy that day. It'll even name it for you, as you can see that it's done here. I didn't do that, but Canva did it. But sometimes Canva is glitchy, in which case you could just make sure that your stuff is saved by clicking on File here and then click Save, and boom, it's saved. If you wanted to print it, you could come over here to Share, and then when you go to Share, you click on Download, right? And so when you click on Download, you have all these options. You can save it in any one of these formats, except for any one of these formats except SVG. All of the other, everything except SVG is free. Okay, so you can use any of those. But if you want it to be an SVG file, then you have to have the pro version. But I don't think you want, for a wedding invitation, you don't need a SVG file. So you could totally, everything I used in here today was part of their free pack. With, the picture was something I got from somewhere else, but the fonts and all of that, that was all free. So you could totally, and the gradient, it was all free. All right. So don't shy away from Canva. Just jump in, play with it, and have some fun. And no, I'm not sponsored by Canva. I just like Canva. With that said, I thank you for joining me today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, because you know that helps. If you learned something new or like learning something new, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, please throw them below, and I will do my darndest to answer all of your questions. Okay. With that said, you guys, until next time.